Just like that, would you look at these egg rolls? They look absolutely fantastic. And I'm gonna go ahead and just cut right into these. Let's see what they look like. Man, look at that. They are nice and crunchy. Cut into them. Just like that, look at that. All right, guys, so today is gonna be a fun one. If you are looking for a recipe that has a little bit of American, has a little bit of some Chinese in it, and it's gonna have people talking at the party, stay tuned because in this episode, I'm gonna teach you how to make a bomb hamburger and egg roll appetizer. All right, guys, so if you are gonna follow along with this recipe, I am gonna list all the ingredients in the comment section so you can go ahead, write them on Notepad, take them to the grocery store, so that way it's easy for you to follow along. All right, so we're gonna start off with our ground beef. Me and my family, we like the ground sirloin, so we're gonna go ahead, open this up. We're gonna go ahead and just throw it right in the pan, just like that. You're gonna go ahead and you are going to hit it with your favorite hamburger seasoning. Me and my family, we like salt and pepper, so we're just gonna go hit that with some salt and pepper. And we also like to throw some garlic in there, so we're gonna go ahead and put some garlic in there just like this. So a little bit of a funny story. This is something that I cook often for appetizers at barbecues, get-togethers. When I ask, when can I bring? They say just bring whatever. A lot of times I make this, and this actually came to be. Funny story is when I first met my wife, I actually thought she was Asian. I thought she was Filipino, actually, to be exact. And I don't know, for a while, I literally believed she was that. Her aunts and her mom, and they just got like the small little eyes. And so I thought she was Filipino, so I tried to impress her. I've always liked to cook. Always liked to cook. Since I was a kid, like, I begged to cook and whatnot. And so, I wanted to try something different for her, to try to impress her. Like, hey, yo, girl, like, I'm Mexican American. I know you're Asian. Let's try to, let me see what I can do, right, to cook for her. And so I came across this recipe online. This isn't an original recipe. And it's just a hamburger in an egg roll, right? And so I made this to impress her. She absolutely loved it, but come to find out, she was Mexican too. And so she loved it though, right? But I found out she was actually more Mexican than I was. But yeah, so just a little funny story of how this came to be. Another big debate is, do you season your meat after it's cooked? Do you season it before it's cooked? Me personally, I like to season it before it's cooked, just so that way while it's cooking in all these flavors. I know that's a little bit of a debate, but put it on the comments. Let me know, do you season your meat before you cook it? Do you season it while it's cooking? Do you season it once it's cooked already? Drop it down in the comments. I'd love to see how you season your meat. All right, so it looks like we got to a point to where our beef is cooked. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put this on the back stove back there just so that way it can sit while we caramelize our onions. All right, so we got our pan nice and hot. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna throw our oil in here, and then we're gonna add our onions. Just like that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add a little bit of garlic just cause, why not? So we're gonna go add a little bit of some garlic in here. So we're gonna cook these until they get pretty caramelized. My wife, she's not a big fan of onions. I know I've mentioned it before. So I finely dice these as fine as I can. And here's a trick to, the people who don't like onions, if you're cooking for someone who's not a big fan of onion, is actually the more you grill them, the less of that onion, that hard onion flavor, and they turn more sweet as you grill them. So, for those who aren't the biggest fan of like that really strong onion taste, go ahead, just grill them for a little longer. I promise you that will take care of that problem. All right, and it looks like we've got it to a really good spot with these onions. So I'm gonna go ahead, I am just gonna turn this off. I'm gonna go ahead and grab all these onions and we'll throw them back into this little bowl here. All right, so it's time for us to make the sauce. So we're gonna start off with just putting some mayo in here, just like so. We'll get that ketchup in there. Some mustard. we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna add some finely diced pickles. And then we're gonna add some of these onions in here just like so. Go ahead and give it a good mix. We're gonna go ahead, hit it with some paprika, just like so. And just by looking at it, I can tell it just needs a little bit more ketchup. So we're gonna go ahead, hit it with a little bit more ketchup, just like so. There you go. Now it's that nice color we want. And once we get there, we are going to go and we are gonna hit it with a little bit of some Worcestershire sauce. That is probably perfect. And just like that, we have our sauce. So now it's time to make our egg rolls. And so you're gonna grab these egg roll skins, egg roll sheets. I'm not sure what they call them at your local grocery store, but you're gonna grab one and we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna make them. Here we go, here we go. Now we're gonna start off by putting just a slice of some American cheese on here, just like this. We'll go ahead, we'll grab our ground beef, throw some ground beef in there, just like this. This is where our sauce comes in. We're gonna hit it with our sauce. Now, if you like it saucy, don't be scared to put sauce in there if you like it saucy. No, this is pretty good for us. And then here's a little trick. If you actually wet the corners of the egg rolls just like this, it's actually gonna stick a lot easier. So just like this. And this is, I'm telling you, a party favorite. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna roll this up. Now, I don't know what the right way, I don't know what the wrong way to do is. This is the way I've been doing it for 10 years since I've known my wife. So I'm just gonna keep doing it, right? If it's not broke, what are we gonna do? Not try to fix it, right? So here we go, we're gonna come. We'll give it a really nice roll, just like this. And we will put our egg roll to the side. We'll go ahead, we'll make another one. There's 2 sheets on this one. Look at that. Look at that. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna repeat the same thing. We will come, put some cheese, put some meat on there. We're gonna hit it with our sauce. And the really, really cool thing about this is you can actually go ahead and make a whole bunch of them and then cut them down the middle in half. So that way they're an appetizer, right? They're not a full meal. So you can just go ahead, cut them down the middle, and you know, you're feeding 2 people now with one as an appetizer. Just like that. I didn't do too good of a job rolling this one. Let me do it again. Go ahead, we're gonna roll it nice and tight, just like so. There we go, we're just gonna put it off to the side just like that. All right, so we are at a point to where we are gonna start heating up the oil for our egg rolls. And I'm gonna use canola oil. Canola oil will work, peanut oil will work, any kind of oil that has a high heat resistance, that will work just fine. And so we're gonna go ahead. Now what we don't wanna do is we don't wanna just go ahead and fill this up all the way to the top. What's gonna happen is once we drop our egg rolls in here, that oil is gonna start to rise. It's gonna go ahead and spill over. And if you got a gas stove, cause a fire, recipe for disaster. So just be really, really mindful when putting this oil in. I would probably start at like 1/3 of the way in, you know, probably just like that. And we're gonna wait for the oil to get hot. Now, here's another thing is we don't want the oil to get too hot, right? To where when we drop our egg rolls in there, they're gonna go and they're just gonna burn really quickly, right? We wanna give the cheese in there some time to melt. We want for that skin to actually cook all the way through. So, you know, we want the oil to be probably at about 300, 350 degrees, pushing it at 350. We do not wanna go anything past that. So we're gonna let this whole oil we're gonna let this oil heat up for just a little bit, and then we'll go ahead and we'll drop the egg rolls in here. All right, so our oil is at a good place to where it's a pretty good temperature. So we're gonna go ahead and drop our egg rolls in the oil just like this. And I'm only gonna put 4 in there because you can actually see where I'm pushing the limit on the oil. We don't want to have an accident. So I'm just gonna keep a really good eye on it and make sure that oil doesn't overflow. But we'll keep a good eye on it and we'll cook 4 at a time. That's fine, let's take our time with it. And just like that, we're gonna take it just nice and easy. You can see, I know I didn't drop them in there and it's not just bursting with all these bubble and things like that. Again, we are cooking this indoors, so we wanna be as mindful as we can. We don't want to have an accident. And you can see they're starting to get a little bit golden. And so what we can go in there and do is we can go ahead and we can give them a little flip just like this. I promise you, they are going to cook. They're gonna cook really well. And you really don't want to leave this unattended. Again, I'm gonna give it just another nice little flip. They're cooking very well. Again, just nice and slow, nice and slow, nice and slow. We're not gonna be in a huge hurry here. All right, so they're getting to a place to where they look great. Actually, I think they are ready. Look at that. We're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna pull them out. And they are looking great. So we're gonna go ahead and we are going to let these egg rolls sit. Look at them. I'm gonna cook this last one, but look, they look absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna go ahead and cook this other one and we'll be right back. Just like that, would you look at these egg rolls? They look absolutely fantastic. And I'm gonna go ahead and just cut right into these. Let's see what they look like. Man, look at that. They are nice and crunchy. Cut into them. Just like that, look at that. Oh my God, I can't wait to try this. Give it a nice little dip in there. Guys, this is great. Let me tell you something. If you are looking for a recipe to get you talking at the party, something different, something unique. Again, this came by accident because I thought my wife was Filipino, right? Let me make some egg rolls. But this ended up being one of the most requested appetizers I take to any friend barbecue. So go ahead and give this a try. Let me know what you guys think. We'll see you next time.